I am fat. I am not truly naked. I have shorts on. And this kitten just farted. Cat farts. Nasty. Anyway, today we're talking about the Paris attacks, thanks to the lovely Trisha Hirschberger in this naked blog. Bob, what are you doing? He is the most adorable, loving animal, but just not a very professional YouTuber. I'm going to have to say that very clearly. In any case, so the lovely Trisha Hirschberger, who has created the Naked Army for us, has asked the question, how do we prevent terrorist attacks in the future? And this is a very difficult question because there's almost no way to completely prevent terrorist attacks. There will always be terrorists of some kind, whether it's the events in Paris or that crazy guy that threw a bomb into a Walmart because he was upset that they no longer sold Confederate flags. That's the thing about the world we live in. But Trisha Hirschberger put up in her thumbnail, to war or not to war. And Bob just jumped on my bed. Here's the thing about that. We're dealing with an enemy that has twisted their religion to give them the right to murder us, forcibly take our women, and then treat them like property. This is not Muslims or followers of Islam. This is a radicalist group who are not siren. As I was saying there, this is not Islam or Muslims. This is a radical group who have twisted their religion and given themselves the belief that non-followers are not human and that they have no rights. So how do you combat an idea? This is the thing. People say, well, I mean, violence begets violence. And no, okay? You can bomb the world into pieces. I can guarantee you can bomb the world into peace. If there's no one left to fight, you have peace. It's not the outcome we want, but it is a possibility. So again, here's the thing. We went to Iraq, and we screwed the situation up completely. Bob, come on, you're supposed to be a professional here. And we screwed the situation up completely because although we did kill a monster, Saddam Hussein was a monster, and many of his followers were monsters. Don't forget that. And the new enemy we fight that have taken Saddam Hussein's place, they're another monster. And they're a monster who forced their women to wear burqas, which look like beekeeper suits, to protect them against their own people who, will kidnap them and abuse them and then murder them. The whole reason for the burqa, which is a reasonably modern idea in Islam, is so that now you can't tell what the woman underneath looks like. So if you kidnap her, you're playing a gamble. Rather than, oh, look at that young woman over there. I'm going to kidnap her and abuse her and murder her, or whatever you're going to do. This does not represent Islam. This represents ignorant monsters who twist their faith. So what do we do? Now, I just want to make clear here. If someone wants to wear a burqa, that should be their right. They should have every right to wear a burqa. Okay? I believe in rights. I don't believe in forcing people to do things. So if you don't wish to wear a burqa, you shouldn't have to. I mean, may I remind you that there are sects of Judaism that believe that the head should always be covered. And my personal thought on the idea is that we have that belief because these are people that lived in the desert, and not having your head covered could be quite dangerous. Bob is now resting comfortably on my bed, if any of you want to know. Bob wanted to take a nap, but Nimbus decided to pay me a visit here. Beating you, sweetheart. Oh, yes, you're a kitty. You are a kitty. You are a kitty. Yes, you are. So here's the thing. Why don't you go down, sweetheart? Yes. Go play with your brother. Okay, so here's the thing. We got out of Iraq, America I mean. And that was dumb because we're still in Germany. So let me tell you what we did in World War II. We won the war, and then we got what was called the Marshall Plan. Put billions of dollars into the European economy so that they would have a people educated enough and prosperous enough, that's a lot of bell ringing, to fight off communism. What we needed to do in the Middle East was fix their economy. Oh, come on, guys. Seriously. Fix their economy so that they don't fall to radical Islam as a matter of getting out their anger. So it's like, let's just say I were the one figuring out what to do in the Middle East. First of all, I would never have abandoned who are technically our ally, Iraq, and I would never have left them alone to fight against ISIS, because guess what happened? We gave them a bunch of American military equipment, and oh look, ISIS captured it. Now, ISIS is killing people with American equipment, with American tanks, with American Humvees. That's not acceptable. We as a nation have the responsibility to get our ass right back there and say, give us that equipment back, or we kill you. You don't go around letting people kill other people with your equipment. That's our responsibility, it's our fault. That's point number one. Point number two. What do they need in the Middle East? Well, number one, they need water, and I'll tell you why. Because human beings have been living there for a very long period of time. The Garden of Eden is between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. That puts it somewhere in the Middle East. Okay, it wasn't always a desert. It's not naturally a desert. We made it a desert. Human beings. And Nimbus wants to be in this video very badly. So that's point number one. You got to go in there and you've got to build solar power plants and you've got to build geothermal power plants and create a green system that has enough power in it to reclaim the waters of the Persian Gulf, to spread water across the desert and make it potable soil again. Make the deserts bloom, return it to the state that it was in before humanity screwed it up. That's point number one, and we can do this. We can do this. It's not that hard. It is possible. Then there's step number two. Not necessarily step number two. We could call this thing number two. Thing number two, you go to the American industrial base. Much of our equipment is World War II era. It was all purchased during World War II to build up the war effort. I have been in the American industrial base. I have seen the equipment we used. Things may have changed in the last 10 years, but I last worked in a factory in I think 2011 or 2010, one of the two. I'd have to look at my records. So you go to this American industrial base and you buy out all of the older equipment and you send it to Iraq. But don't give them this. Go and find people who want to start businesses in Iraq, Iraqis who have nothing better to do because there aren't a lot of jobs over there. And you say, okay, here's the thing. We're going to give you a loan to start your business. We're going to provide you with the industrial equipment as part of the loan. And now, you've got 10 years. If your business is still around in 10 years, then you can start paying us back. If not, well, kittens are fighting. We'll take our industrial equipment back. I still don't think we ever got a dime back on the Marshall Plan, but guess what? The Russians didn't take over Europe, so at least there's that. Now then, there's the third thing you need to do. Let's just make this clear. We've got water and power, so a sturdy infrastructure for Iraq to reclaim the desert. That will also mean proper farming, so the farmers will have the water to grow their crops. So you've dealt with the food problem. No one's starving in Iraq. Fewer people. As many people as are starving in America. Then you've got, send them the older industrial equipment from America. So you build up our industrial base by taking all that equipment out, and then you build up their industrial base by giving them this older equipment so they can't really compete with us. But they can compete in the local economy compared to other Arab states. Now, what's the most important thing you need to do there? You need to build schools. Need to have proper progressive education in the Middle East. Why? Because ignorant people do stupid things. If you have knowledge, an understanding of the mortality of this frail thing we call a human body, you don't want to go kill yourself. Likewise, if you've got the ability to feed your family and your needs are met, and your kittens aren't wrestling when you're trying to make a video, you don't want to die. You want to live, because life isn't that bad. Give them knowledge, give them hope, give them the ability to survive. Right now in Iraq, and much of the Middle East, it sucks. It sucks. They don't have what we have. They don't get to watch television at the end of the day. They can't turn on the air conditioning. Of course, I can't do that. And we have problems in America, but that's not what this video is about. They can't do these things. They can't live the life we have. They got to worry about being murdered, having appropriate police forces. What's going to happen to their children? If we give them a society, if we can build in these places a society free of that fear, so that the Syrians don't need a place to be other than Syria, because their country is worth living in, then we'll solve this problem. That's what this is about. We need to look at the people of the Middle East as our wounded brothers in need of help. Brothers and sisters. We need to look at all mankind as needing the necessities of life. They have the right to a proper education and understanding of their world. A world free from want. That's what we have to do. We have to start realizing that every life matters. Not just an American life, not just a French life, but also an African life, an Iraqi life, a Syrian life, an Israeli life, a Palestinian life, every life. Every life has to matter. That's how you're going to stop terrorism. Now, I hope I haven't bored you with my soapbox, and I know the kittens are making a lot of noise here, but let's just bear with it. These naked blogs are brought to you thanks to one Tricia Hirschberger, and if you'd like to make your own, please be over 18 or ask for your parents' permission. Not live in a place where you'll be murdered for being naked, and you can send them to Tricia Hirschberger via her channel page. I'm Richard Neal, and I've really got to get this video up because it's late. So, peace.